Rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Saviour was born on Christmas Day, to save us from Satan's power when we might go astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, oh, tidings of comfort and joy. So that's day 18, I think. I'm checking on my computer. Yes, day 18. You only have to put up with my singing until the 25th, because that's Christmas Day, and that's as far as I'm going with my Vlogmas. I don't know whether you're supposed to go to the end of the month, but Christmas is Christmas Day, isn't it? Anyway, I'm doing a little bit knitting, but I was at my granddaughter's children's school's bingo night last night, but when I came home, I left here it was before 5 o'clock to get down to Cheryl's for 5 o'clock. And you know, it took me ages to get down there. I've never been out really at that time in my car, and the traffic was terrible. Instead of taking me 10 minutes from leaving my house to get into Cheryl's, it took me 20 minutes, because the traffic was so bad. But there was plenty of time, because we didn't have to be at the school. The bingo wasn't starting until 6 o'clock, so I went down to Cheryl's and wait for her mum, Veronica, to, well, she gets called Ronnie, actually. That's what she gets called for sure. Waiting for Ronnie to come to Veronica's house, and then we were going down to Cheryl's house, and then we're going to walk down to the school. But I didn't get back till about 9 o'clock. So I did a little bit knitting, and then I was knitting this hand here. I don't know what happened, whether it was arthritis, because as you can see, if you look at my fingers, they're all knobbly with arthritis, especially this one. And I got a sudden pain, just went down that finger and down my hand. I hope it's not that carpal tunnel thing, but I get pain with arthritis, you know, when your joints are twisting. I'm hoping it was just that. But I could hardly do any knitting last night. I did a little bit, but because of the pain, I couldn't hold the needle properly, and I was exercising. I do exercise my hands. I do, like, you know, grips like this, and, like, you know, your fingers, and stretching your fingers, and I do have one of those balls. It's upstairs in my workroom. Actually, I haven't used it for a while. I'll have to bring it back down until I get back up in my workroom. And I use that, you know, roll that around up and down your hands and your arms, and that keeps my hands going. But that pain was very severe last night. I don't know what it was, whether it was a joint twisting, but it went right down to the palm, and I could feel when I was pressing the palms of my hand in, and that sun has come out. I'll have to turn my computer around a bit. A little bit better. I had pressing the palm of my hand, and it felt like the bone was painful, actually. But it's not so bad today. I can manage my knitting today, but I could hardly manage any last night. I did. I managed to do a little bit. Pull the needles out of here. I actually got up to the armholes on my own. So I'm ready to start the armhole shaping. That was as far as I got, and I just couldn't knit anymore. It was too painful with my... Even this morning when I got up, when I was trying to pick up the kettle, you know, because I use that hand, I ended up having to use my left hand. I'm right-handed. It's awkward to do things left-handed when you're right-handed, because that's always the hand I pick things up, like a kettle and that. But I've been doing those exercises this morning constantly, and all, and it has helped. It sort of, the pain's not so bad down. It's just down the one finger, that one finger going down to my palm down there. But I was looking through, I have some of those support things to put on, but I haven't got a one that'll cover my finger. That's the problem. I'll have to maybe sew one out of the tubular stuff I get, and sew one to make it for my finger and to go across the rest of my hand. I think I might be able to do that. But anyway, that's about how far I am with the blanket. I'm not much more to do. And this has been spoken for. Someone does want to buy this, so it won't be going onto my eBay shop when I finish it. I have sold the scarf, that's gone off eBay, but the cardigan, the white cardigan, is still there. But I was doing a little bit, will I shift that out of there? I was doing a little bit, doing another peg bag, but I thought I'm doing one or two of these. I'm going to give them as Christmas presents too. I have my son's girlfriend, he's coming up on Monday from Yorkshire where he lives, him and his girlfriend. I don't know who else is coming up with her because I have another granddaughter down there. She's not blood granddaughter, but she's my my son's ex-partner's daughter, but she still calls me grandmother. I don't know whether she's Charlotte. I don't know whether she's coming up with her dad or what. But anyway, I thought about doing one or two of these for my family. And then I'm going to do one for myself if I have any of the bases left. But if I use all the bases, I'm going to have to order some more from Temu and hope I can find the same ones for these. So this one is, I'm using white, yellow and purple mixed. I think it makes a nice mix in that one. Shall I put that one back in the bag? And that one back in. The needles. And carry on knitting this one while I'm talking. And like I said, I went to my granddaughter's kids' Christmas bingo. It was fun. I actually won one of the house. They were playing games. There was no money. The very last game we played, we could buy a ticket if you wanted to play for that one. That one was for money. We could have won £10 for a line. I think it was £20 for 2 lines, or it was 100. I'm not sure. I think it was 120 for the full house. But none of us won any of that. But the other houses were all they were more or less for the kids, really. There were bags of sweets and chocolate, and that sun is just coming through that window again. There was bags of sweets. There was a small bag. You had a line, 2 lines and a full house, and there was a small bag. They had them on the stage thing. There was like 3 steps, and the lowest step had what you could get for a line. The middle step was for what you get for 2 lines, and the higher step was all full of bags for the full house. And the full house was all sort of, there was selection boxes and lots of stuff all in the one bag. And I won one house, a full house, but someone else called at the same time, so we had to share. So they waited until the full game was finished, and then everyone had to go up to that stage and pick what they had won. If they had won the line, picked what they won, the 2 lines and the full house. Well, there being 2 people, me and there was this fella that had won had shared the full house. I sent little Eddie up to pick what they wanted, and the fella he took one bag. We had to share that one bag, but the fella just took a bar of chocolate out and let Eddie have the rest, because Eddie wasn't really bothered. So I thought that was very nice of him. So I had a big bag full of, there was selection boxes, there was jar things full of like stripy candy, like humbug type things. There was mallows, there was those Haribo packets and all sorts in. I didn't want any. I was just getting them all for the kids, but they didn't know that. And Eddie tried always to get those marshmallows. There were the mallows out of the bag. And I says, look, you're not getting anything out of that bag that had been eaten they had a counter in the hall where they could buy sweets and crisps and, you know, cans of pop and all of that stuff, little toy things that they make, these little, I don't know how they make them, but they're little digital toy things that they make with computer things. I don't know how they were, but they were buying things like that. And then we also had a meal. It was a nice meal. It was like a minced pie sort of thing, you know. It was just a topping pastry on the top with the minced stuff, and there was a bit of carrots and stuff and some peas on the plate. But Eddie wouldn't have a meal. He was too busy, probably full of sweets because he were buying lollipops and all sorts. But he kept trying to get these mallows out the bag. But I'm hungry. He says, well, you should have had a meal that everybody else had, shouldn't you? So you're not getting anything, leave them alone. But we were playing, we had all the kids had, there were strips, the bingo games were six games on a book, and we had, I think there was 5 games we played. But the kids got just one, there were just one little strip, that's, we paid £4 for the ticket for the bingo thing, but these tickets were given as part of the £4. But so the kids were all given, the £4 was all for the tickets that all the kids were getting, the one single one. I think we paid £3. Yes, it was £3 for the last ticket where there was a lot of money to be won. But the other ones we got for free. The things part, like I'm saying, part of the £4 we paid that. And I think Frankie was okay. He came and sat with us. He's a 12-year-old. Well, he'll be 13 in March, so he's nearly a teenager. And Tommy, who was 9 in January, he went and sat with his friends. But Eddie was sitting with us, and he had a little friend sitting next to him. Someone must be in his class at school and that. And the two of them were carrying on. We were having trouble keeping note of the numbers because of the carry-on going with them, and they were having to tell them what numbers they were missing on their ticket and that. He was sitting beside his other nana at first, his mum's mum, Ronnie. He was sitting beside her at first, and she was keeping him right with the numbers on the ticket. And then after I won that house, he decided to come and sit next to me because he was after what was in the bag of the sweets and the bag, but he wasn't getting them. I didn't bother film any of it. There was too much noise and too much going backwards and forwards, and because they were up and down the whole time, they couldn't keep still. Any of the kids in the whole place were up and down all around the place, and they were having to keep stopping the game for the kids to sit down. But we had a good night, you know. It was a good laugh actually. And we also played a game. They played this a couple of times where I hadn't a clue, you know, because I've never played these games before. But where Cheryl was standing up, she said, get up, Nana. And I says, what we're doing? Like, she says, well, it's heads or tails. I says, well, what's heads or tails? She says, heads or tails. She says, either put your hands on your head or put your hands around your backside. And she says, he's going to flip a coin. One of the teachers was flipping a coin. He says, and if you've got heads and it comes up heads, you stay standing up. But if you've got tails, you've got to sit down. And they keep on doing that till there's only one person left on the floor till somebody wins. So I said, all right, oh, then I've got it now. I've never played this before, man. So anyway, we played that game and they got right. There was only me and this other girl left on the floor. And we had to go up on the stage. Well, it wasn't up on the stage, just out on the edge of the stage. The two of us, and I still hadn't a clue what was going on. And we're standing there, and Cheryl saying to me, turn around, Nana, you haven't got to see what the other person's doing. See, all right, I'm turning around. And I said, what have I got to do? And she says, well, the fella saying, well, pick what you want, heads or tails. He said, I'll flip the coin, and whoever gets the right one is the winner. I don't know what they got, but there was an envelope, but I didn't win because I picked heads and tails come up, so. But I was turning around, and I was, don't turn around, you haven't got to see what the other person's picking. I keep trying to turn that sun it's moving further and further round. I'll pull my curtain a bit further. I'm hoping it's going to block it out till I finish this video, because, you know, when you don't want the sun, it's there. And when you do want it, it's not there. But I thought I would sit here near my window because it was bright, but the sun wasn't particularly shining when I sat here. So anyway, we played that game and I wasn't lucky enough for that one. So I don't know what, but there was some sort of envelope. I don't know if it was something to do with the school. I'll have to ask Cheryl next time I see her what anyone got that. But they played that a couple of times, and I think the second time I played it, I had to sit down straight away, the first flip of the coin. And then they had, this was for all the kids who never won anything. We all had to put our name on the back of the bingo books. We had to split them all up and just take a bit off the last page and put our name on and fold it up and put it in a box. And everybody put it in, and all the sweets that were left on the stage, because there were still piles of little bags of sweets and that. And some of them, the biggest ones, I had some boxes of, you know, the boxes of different chocolate, like roses and things like that. So the first ones out were naturally going to pick those ones, but the rest were just little bags of sweets that were left. So they kept getting all the kids to pick a ticket out of the box and that, and calling out whose name it was. I think the only one out of us was Cheryl. She got picked once, but all the big things had gone. So Tommy went up and picked one of the bag of sweets. But the kids were happy, you know, with that. And then went back to Cheryl's. And I shared out what I got in the what I won in the bingo with the kids. And Eddie just come dashing over and picked that bag of mallows out straight away before anybody else could get it. He was incensed. He was going to have that bag of mallows, but nobody else was bothered about it. So I shared it out as best I could. I let Frankie pick, and he picked the biggest. There was one, like, it was a Heroes, I think it was, and there were lots of bars of chocolate, all to do with this Heroes chocolate thing and all that. He picked that out, and it was the biggest one, it was the thickest one, there was the most in it, and left the rest to pick what was left. But you know, when I went home, I always get a kiss and a cuddle off the two youngest boys when I'm going home because of the age of them. But Frankie, from turning about 11, he wouldn't give me a kiss at all, but he did last night, because I let him take first pick out of the bag, I think it was, and he got the biggest bag of sweets. Anyway, that was a really enjoyable night. And Cheryl says that they do that quite often at her school. I think she says they had one for Halloween, and so I say, so well, if I have any more, Cheryl, just don't forget, I'll come along. I says, I don't mind a little bit fun, because it was really fun. But anyway, my hand seems a lot better now since I've been just sitting doing this little knitting, but I just couldn't knit last night. It was too painful the way my finger was, but it seems to have gone off now, so I think it may just be the arthritis. It's affecting because my joints are twisted on my hands, especially my right hand. Being right-handed, it must affect you, if whichever hand you are, right-handed or left-handed, it must check that hand first, I think. So anyway, that's my bit for today, and I'm sorry if nobody likes my singing, but I have lost 1 or 2 subscribers since I started doing these videos. I've noticed like the subscriber count has started going down, and it's only just managing to keep up with what it had at the start of this. So I think a lot of people must have been subscribing and then didn't like that I was singing on the thing. Well, I'm very sorry, but anyone is going to have to put up with it until Christmas Day. That's it and all about it. I don't know what I sound like when I'm singing, because I can't play this video back and listen to myself. And I know that my dad was right, no matter what anybody says. So, thumbs up and subscribe. I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.